Hello, I'm Rebecca Horan and welcome to A Little Birdie Told Me, a podcast brought to you by rollercoaster.ie. In season 4, I'm going to be talking to a range of well-known Irish faces about being in the trenches when it comes to parenting. On this episode, I speak to the wonderful TV presenter and personality Glenda Gilson, who brought so much energy into the studio that it was infectious. I hope you enjoy this chat. So I'm really delighted to have Glenda Gilson here, who I'd say model, broadcaster, presenter, but mum of two, and mum of two boys. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. You were on my hit list.
Thank you.
And then last year I was like, we'd so much to get through, and I was like, I wonder will she want to come on and talk about family? It's kind of a different, well, it's not. You do shoots with the boys, you do bits and pieces, but it is probably a different genre.
I suppose it is, but it's something I'm used to now since I had the two of them. So
That's your life.
So yeah, bring it on.
Okay, great. Let's go. So you spent much of your life, and you still do, in the spotlight, from shoots on Grafton Street to shoots in New York to like interviewing. Like it was a really hectic, brilliant time, I'm sure. Like I don't want to put words in your mouth. And you dated some high profile people, and we all know about that. And then you meet your man and things change or they don't change. Like how do you think your life, obviously you have 2 kids, things are nuts. But how do you think things changed when you got married? Because suddenly things do settle down.
Well, I wouldn't say when I got married. I think it was, that didn't change because I was still in the thick of work and everything. I think it all changed when I had the 2 boys. I was still going when I had Bobby and then for a little bit of Danny. But then, of course, the 2 of them, it was too much. And, of course, Expose was gone, the show that was 5 days a week. And, like, we pre-recorded during the day. So you might be out late at night more so than early mornings. So when I was moved on to Ireland AM, then I suppose it's live television. I was in Babyland. You got to know what's going on in the world and you're live. So it's like, oh, jeepers. So that was a different story. And you're getting up at an ungodly hour. So I couldn't do that pace anymore. And you know what? As you said, you asked me there before we started, did I always want to be a mom? I was always so into kids, you know. Any child I'd see on the street, I'd be over kind of making faces with them and doing that. And now I have my 2 own little boys.
It was somewhere in you. So it was a hunger. As much as you were hungry, you're very, I would say, ambitious.
Absolutely. Like
and
I pushed
feel like
it
you
out
always,
long enough.
Yeah,
you know?
but I feel like you also prove people wrong. Like you do things, and when you do them really well. Like you know what I mean? Like you can't be. I couldn't say you could be boxed off as a model, and it's not just a model because it's a fucking hard job.
Yeah.
But as in you then prove to people, you know, well, actually, I can take on being a host of a pretty big entertainment show, or I can, you know.
It's funny because I was modelling, and I don't know if you know this, but I started at 3 years of age. So I was on commercials, Kellogg's cornflakes ads, Bank of Ireland, McDonald's, all of those things as I was younger. And then I went through my teenage years, and you know, you don't want to be going out doing that. You want to be hanging out with your friends. And then, of course, when I left school, I was in college, and you think of making a few quid. And that was kind of what drove me. And then I did well with that, and it just kept going. And then I got the opportunity to get into TV. I had done TV and radio broadcasting in college. Sorry about the voice. I haven't been well the last few days.
Sick. You sound great.
And print and media journalism. So it was always something I wanted to get into. But it's funny because people used to recognise me from my face. And I was standing in a queue in a supermarket or a bank one day, and this lady turned around to me and she said, I knew it was you from your voice. So I was like, wow, it's turned around now, you know.
That's
now
cool. You definitely have.
I have one of those voices,
but that's
especially
brilliant.
Today because it's deeper.
But that's good.
But yeah, I just went, wow, people used to just recognise the face, and now it's moved on to the monotone voice.
Were you scouted as a little kid, or did your parents put you into like what happened there?
My mom had a friend, Geraldine Brand, and she'd one of the biggest agencies in Dublin, probably the only one, her and Nan Morgan at the time.
Wow.
So and I just
they're like, she's super cute, she can do a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had success with that.
Yeah. I did.
And
I
you never
say to my
found that
mother now,
weird
where's
as
all
a
that
kid?
money that I made as a kid? She's like, you shut up, you had a great education, you were dressed well.
But was that the dream then? So you're a teen and you're obviously very tall, probably compared to your contemporaries, your glam. Was that the dream, to be the successful model, or did you have other aspirations?
And when I think back, no, I was big into sport.
Okay.
I loved art. I remember, and I just wanted to hang out, and boys were my thing.
So it wasn't like this big obsession.
No,
to
it
be,
wasn't.
Okay.
You know, it's a different world now. We don't have social media. We don't really get upset. Well, maybe we were. We had magazines. We posters on our walls. But I think the reality, the dreams come true for people now. I know that dreams came true for us, but they seem more. Different. You could grab them now. Where back in our day, they weren't just at your fingertips. No. Yeah, so
it's hard fought.
Absolutely.
So you were kind of loving being an innocent teen and enjoying.
It just kept going.
Yeah, but you weren't like, I want to be the Cindy Crawford of art. You weren't. Pushed.
No, okay, I certainly wasn't pushed. It just kept going. So when I wasn't working, I was still on their books. So they'd give me a call and say, you know, I mightn't hear from them for a couple of months, and then they'd give me a call and say, would you come in for this casting? And I'd go for it, and then you mightn't get it, and a lot of times you wouldn't get it, and then you just go off into teenage world again. And
were you tough? Were you always tough, or were you not?
But see, my mom used to come everywhere with me. So I'd say my mom, I didn't really, you have me thinking about it now. I can't.
Do you remember being affected?
No, definitely not.
You're quite confident and strong. That's great.
That probably came later in life, you know, when I was 19, 20.
And you get insecure.
Yeah, and you're around girls. Like, we had some great fun now. We used to get on a bus and go like to Westport or somewhere, all us models, and we'd go and do a fashion show, and there could be 23 outfits with an interval. I remember it would start at 8 o'clock. 23. Yeah, you wouldn't get out of there till 10 o'clock. Some of the outfits...
Nude knickers, dress in front of each other.
Well, that's if you could find a pair of nude knickers back then.
Very
nude
different.
Underwear was hard to find.
Yeah, my friend Karina Grant, she was my bridesmaid, was in the thick of this.
Karina would tell you. I'll share. Listen, I have a story about Karina Grant. I remember she's such a professional walking down the catwalk. I did this particular show with her, and she lost a shoe, and she just continued. And she continued with one foot on tippy toes, and off she went.
Ever the profession.
Like, when you think back at these stories, I remember Andrea Roach going up 2 steps onto a catwalk, and she fell, and her 2 knees were bleeding afterwards, and she just wiped them and continued. It's just
different.
It's just what you did. You just kept going. But that's what I wanted to say to you. In Westport, we'd go down, you'd get... you'd say, you know, to Derek Daniels, Dickie, I have a size 18 here. I don't think it will fit. It'll be grand, make it fit. And it'd be like, Jesus. So and you'd have a clamp on the back, and you're on a runway, on a catwalk. It's not like it's... You know, it's a photograph with a clamp. You do this twirl and be like, there's my black clamp on the back.
I love that. But, he's so funny as well. It was a real family. Do you feel like it was collegiate? Like
that's what I said. You'd finish, Jesus, if they could hear us now, we'd usually be getting changed in the kitchens of hotels around the country, and you'd find the stash of little bottles of white wine.
Get hammered.
So we'd be like, throw them into
like
the bag. And we'd hop on the bus, Bernard, the bus man, God love the poor man having to put up with us, and we'd head back to Dublin, and we'd stop and get a bag of chips on the way home, and a sing-song. Like now,
different.
The girl,
now
it's
social
totally
media,
different.
They're snapping it immediately. It's on TikTok. You would not be sitting getting hammered. You would not have
and
chips.
Listen, I'm not condoning that life. Drink and eating a bag of chips.
In a way.
Yeah. We weren't just into fitness and keep our health, which we should have been.
Image,
you know, smoking was a big thing of models as well. It was just a different world. I remember, and backstage where clothes were hung on rails, there was models sitting on the floor smoking around them. It was just a different world.
But I kind of. Like, I was in it in a different way because I was in continuity RT. That's how I met Karina, and I was starting in media, and then I went into... But I just remember watching that world and growing up in that 90s, noughties world in Dublin, and people slag it, and it's photo call and Grafton Street. That was what we were as a country. It's what fed papers. It's what, you know, made sure commercial clothes were... And there's kind of this... loss of innocence because everyone can be famous now, everyone has an account, everyone has, and I kind of look at these women now who did make it, and I'm like, can't forget the people who had started all of this stuff in this country and put us on the map in a way, and started the, you know, going over shows.
Do you remember models used to be celebrated?
Yes.
Like, nowadays, I'm talking international models. You have your Kendalls, your Gigi's, your Bellas. But back in the day, the supermodel, they kind of make them all look samey, so that the focus is on the clothes.
But also the influencers and actors now are the models for brands, for Fendi, as opposed to the ones like the Linda and Vangela. Like, you'd look at them and go, wow. I saw a shoot with all the old supermodels recently for
I know,
and I was like,
I'm
wow,
obsessed.
they're just...
And they all look so beautiful. Naomi Campbell looks like
what age is she?
50 odd, isn't she? She looks like now she was only stepped off the catwalk.
She's always looked the same.
Yeah.
She's always looked...
But yeah, different
But you
times.
loved that time.
I loved it, and it's
Or
funny.
stressful.
Don't knock the photo calls, because like you'd have a 10:30 photo call and you'd be done by 11:15.
It's money.
And it was great money as
Money.
well. And you were done. It was like, Jesus.
And if you did well, you keep getting booked all the time.
Yeah, and you would have a fashion show that night. You'd get good, big editorials.
Do you miss all that, or you kind
would,
of?
but
Yeah.
Listen, it was time to get out when
Okay.
I got out, and TV was where I was going. And I remember there was gorgeous girls coming up the ranks, as there always is, but there was little young ones coming up, and it was like, here, I can't compete with that anymore. You know, they're gorgeous. Yeah,
I still think, Glenda, you can compete with a lot of the.
And you know what? There's some girls there that I modelled with that are still modelling today.
Yeah.
They look fabulous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus, good on you, girls. And I often say that, Jesus, I could still be modelling.
Of course you could.
No, the
You don't
opportunity
want
came to go
Okay.
into TV. And I took that, and I loved that, and that just kind of kept going.
Stressful in a different way.
Stressful,
Demanding.
absolutely. Yeah, like it was. I started on Bubble Hits, which was
I remember that.
a 24-hour
Yes.
music show with no ads.
In the UK?
It was kind of it was UK. It was on satellite TV, so we got it here and the UK. But it was I had a show called Glenda Showbiz Goss. I'll never forget that. And then that's when I got Exposé. And then that was just nuts.
No money, nuts.
It was
Your own self-edit,
yeah,
yourself
dressing ourselves, doing our own
everything.
makeup.
And then you turn up and we're all like watching out going, God, they've the life. It's
yeah,
hard.
yeah. I remember I saw a picture online or something of this kid in Asia being picked up from school, and his mom or dad was driving the bike, like a little moped, and the child was turned, it was on the back, but with it back to his dad, and he was turned on the little lid at the back where you might put a helmet, and he was doing his homework on the way home. And I sent it to my producer, and I said, is this the way you'd like us Exposé girls to be? Because at one stage they wanted us to hold the mic and work the camera on our shoulder and interview. It's like, come on,
Do
go
it
off.
and look nice.
And look good.
Don't swear and be at every event and then get the red eye. And
Yeah.
I do, because
It's like sometimes
I
you
don't.
get,
I didn't
feeling
ever
okay.
want to do
it's like,
it.
I
'cause
haven't
like,
had a minute. That's why my hair is grey. I'm not a
why I
young
feel
one
like shit.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stressful,
So,
busy.
It was full on. But listen,
Friendships.
they recently celebrated 25 years, and you know, I feel like I was on Exposé for 13 of those years,
That's
or 12,
huge.
and then a year on Ireland AM. But I was modelling on Ireland AM for so long before that. But looking back, and I loved all the love on Instagram from all my colleagues and people that I worked with over the years, and different presenters on Virgin Media, how much love there was. And I was laughing with the girls. I was like, yeah, you missed those. And then it was like, until we're back 1 week into it,
Yeah.
it's like, fuck.
But that's the thing.
This is
you know,
mad.
it's like every nostalgia. It's like old boyfriends or family times. You're like, we romanticize everything. And I think you get to an age, like I've just turned 40 recently, and I'm romanticizing everything was amazing. It's not, when you're in it, it's actually full throttle hard. It's hard to keep a relationship. It's certainly hard to think about your fertility. It's not that bloody easy. And there's a moment in time. That was a moment in your time,
It's
maybe.
like having kids. You look back and go, oh, look at him.
When you're in it, it's horrendous.
You're like, I didn't sleep one bit during
I look
that
back
time.
at Simone now, who's just turned 2, and I'm like, oh, I went into the baby. It's really tricky when you're in it.
Yeah.
And are there, like, you are in no way near finished or washed up or any way near the end of your. So
Jesus,
what
you should have
are
seen
the
me before I
dreams? But
put
what
this
are the
makeup on.
dreams? Like, you still have dreams, and I think when we become moms, it's a bit like, surely there's so much more you want to do.
Absolutely. And I have it in me, and I see different shows.
Are you kind of holding out for a while?
Yeah, like
Okay.
there's a different. My kids are gone to school now. Well, they're not.
But they're
one has
not
gone to crash.
Harvard,
Okay,
they're
he's
tiny.
still 2,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's gone for 3 hours a day, which kind of gives me. Even though by the time I get home and shower, I'm on the road again. But I feel like I have more time. I wanted that time as well.
The
And
headspace.
really, now there's certain days where I'm like, I want to run out that front door and never come back, as you know. But I wanted that time. But yes, when I see certain things going on around town, that's happening in the country, I'm like, I would have been in the thick of that right now. And I do miss things like that. And yes, you asked me that question. I still feel like there's something in me. I still want to do something. I don't know what that is.
Is it your own business? Is it media? Is it present? Yeah, you'll figure that out.
Oh, it's entertainment, TV or
Okay.
radio or something
Brilliant.
along those
Okay,
lines that I've
brilliant.
always done. Absolutely. Something like this, whatever
Yes.
it is. But talking to people,
But something buzzy.
I always loved, that was the one thing with my job. I love sitting down with people. I love the stranger, the weirder, the better,
Yeah.
because if we were all samey, it'd be an awful boring out world. So
And I think the one thing someone said to me when I had my kids, and I have a lot of energy and it has to be used, or I get a bit lonely. Like, I definitely need to be around people.
Yeah.
And I think I was a bit bereft. Like, I think it's a good word. I think there was a grief in me when I had my first kid. I was in my early 30s, thrilled to bits. But I do remember a bit like, I miss old me. I miss. And it wasn't a FOMO about nights out. It was more about like, I've lost a bit of identity. And then very much so with the seconds, which I'm reclaiming now.
Of course.
Do you feel there's a grief that comes with being a mom, or are you just so like, it's amazing?
I totally get it. No, absolutely. No, it is amazing. But there's days that you're like, oh, jeepers. You miss the independence of having your own money.
Independence.
Or the amount of money you used to make. And also getting out and having conversations, as you said, with your colleagues. Those friendships, as I said, looking back on the 25 years, it was like, oh my God, we had such crack in the office. And I put me in there for a couple of hours now and I'd be like, Jesus, get me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, where was I going with that? Where was I going?
The grief of your old like.
Yes, and also I was kind of in the spotlight, and then that all goes as well.
Is that hard on the ego?
It can be sometimes, and especially when I meet people, they're like, Jesus, you're not on the telly anymore. Did I see on the telly? Are you ever going to get back on the telly? Like as if I just jump into a TV screen and I go, hiya, I'm here.
But also as if you die, like, I am here. I'm
like, there's a lot more to what I do than just being on television. But
it's
like,
hard.
you know, absolutely.
It's fucking annoying.
But yeah, you would have that certain days. I'm like, fuck, I'd love to be doing that. And then, you know, some days I'm like, I'm actually good at home and doing my things.
Sometimes
once I get out and have
in.
a few jobs a week, it gets me out. It gets me happy again. It gets me back to the kids, loving life. It gets me loving to go out again. But, you know, we'll see.
So you're at home, you're doing a lot of brand stuff, you do work, you do bits, you're at home then for the boys. Your husband works full time or he works from home?
He seems to always be around me, Rob. He travels.
Just watching you like a hawk.
He travels, because I was laughing there when you said that. You're like, you know, times at home, being on your own. I feel like I haven't been on my own since I had my kids.
Okay.
Rob is always around. He's a great dad. He's very involved. But my mother and father love my kids. They're always
so
around
you always
as well.
have someone. Okay.
And I always get to go. I always get my little...
That's great.
I'm running out here for an hour.
That's great.
This. So, yeah, I haven't been...
Can't bottle that. Like, that's not... Some people don't have families near. They live remotely. Their husbands are a bit crappy.
No, I've had great support around me. So, like, and I'm a devil for asking my mother to come over so that I can go up to bed for an hour and have a kip, because I still have a child that loves to come into me in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Danny, Demon Danny, as I call him. And I could probably count on one hand since he was born how many nights he slept the full night. And I wake up in the morning going, Jesus, the child, because I'm so used to him. Mm-hmm. And if he's in his own bed, it's like, wow, he had a good night's sleep. And so did I. I don't know myself.
It's hard. The lack of sleep is hard.
So I miss the actual being in the car on my own and having conversations on my own and things like that you would, you know, or being able to meet someone like that at the drop of a hat.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I do. One brother.
One brother.
Yeah.
Does your mom have to mind his kid? Does he have kids?
He has one little girl, yeah.
Okay.
And we kind of give each other dig outs like that as well. So we'd meet with kids or we'd help out. But my mom helps out with him, with his little one as well. But I'm priority, don't tell him.
I was going to say, yeah, it's great to have... My parents are further away, so it's not as easy. Rob, you meet him. So you're saying you did always want to have kids. Did he always, was that aligned? Was it like, yeah, we're going to have a family? Because like people laugh when I say that not everyone who gets married wants to have kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
It was always a thing, but we weren't obsessed. Like, it was just like, okay, let's have our fun. And we probably had too much fun. Like, I think myself and Rob were married 5 or 6 years before we had kids.
Yeah.
So,
pushed it out a little bit.
We were with each other good 5 years before we got married. So, yeah, we're nearly getting divorced now.
We're all in that club, Glenda.
Some days we are,
it's
Jesus.
Hard, yeah.
But no, it was kind of, I remember sitting on the couch at home and Rob turned to me and said that was what did it for me. He said, let's have sex. Yeah. And I ran out the window and I never came back. Jumped out the window. He said to me, you know, it's a bank holiday this weekend. And I just said, I can't do another weekend of going out and drinking and doing this. I just had enough. And now I'm counting the days when I can get out and go, you know, but it was like, I've had enough. There has to be more to
life.
To my life. As you said, there's not, everyone wants to have children, but that was, I was getting that itch. I was like, yeah.
And easy enough to go and start a family?
Yeah, it was. Thank God.
Good. Yeah.
It was pretty easy. Thank God. The pregnancy was tough.
Okay. So Bobby's first was hard.
Well, I was a puker, so I was night, noon and morning, and I used to go around with cameramen from my old job, and they'd be like, oh, Jesus, you look like you're hungover, because I'd be on the side of the street.
Were you on
puking.
tablets? Did you get Carol?
I did, and it didn't work for me, so... But yeah, so yeah, but I got through it.
Labour?
I had 2 later. Labour, I'll give you a funny one. I was on my last appointment with my doctor, and Rob came up to Ballymount to pick me up, and I came out of studio. That we put the studio earlier, so I was glammed up to the nines.
So you're still working till the death of the pregnancy?
Yeah. This is 2.5 weeks before Bobby was due. So I came out, hair done, makeup done. I had a skirt or a dress on me. I remember my legs were out anyway. Got into the car, drove down to the Coombe Hospital, and there was a queue at the hospital. And Rob said to me, Glenda, you better get out, you're late. And I said, I'm not feeling it. I said, I don't want to. So these 2 girls were killing this fella that had skipped the queue, and they were eating him. And eventually I got through, parked the car, and I got out of the car, and I saw one of the girls that was eating your man, and I said, fair play to you, you put him into his place. And she turned around and he says, do you see him? He was to see you next Tuesday. And I went, oh, right. Boom. Waters broke. I don't know. It was the fright of hearing that word. I know.
What? No way.
And I said to Rob, quickly, go in and tell the doctor. And Rob was like a headless chicken. And he ran in. And then while he was running in, I said, actually, don't. And he was like, he says, what? And I said, don't tell him. And the 2 of us went into the toilet. There was a toilet right in the door. And we were in there like 2 idiots, like 2 teenagers, not knowing what to do. And he said, Glenda, I have to go in to the doctor. And I was like, I know, but there's so many people in the corridor. Anyway, he went into the doctor,
Did you
Dr.
also feel
O'Connell.
like they recognise? It's also embarrassing.
Well, here's the walk of shame
now,
right?
Yeah.
So the doctor says to Rob, just tell her to come in. So off I go in my heels. With stuff,
oh my God.
and a skirt on, walk through down that corridor, and anyone who knows
There's
it's
Glenda,
each side is, and there was men there as well. Like because COVID afterwards, you used to be like a banshee going through the corridors because no one was around. But and Bobby was born 18 minutes later.
What?
Yeah. 18 minutes later.
That's
it was just
incredible.
It was madness. And I remember the next day I woke up and it was kind of like, what happened? Because
so hang on, you'd had a scan previous to this. Had you been told he's going to be ready to go, he's engaged, or not really?
No.
Did you feel like he was
No.
allowed to, you didn't feel that something that day, pains, cramps, Braxton?
And on Danny then, they thought he was going to come like not a breeze, and he wasn't a breeze to come. Now, I wasn't there
so 18, okay, waters break and you go in and they're like, you're whatever dilated.
You're right. He's like,
no
quickly. And like no
Painful?
time for anything. No time. Yeah.
That sounds painful.
Yeah. And I remember
because it's very fierce.
He was, and the 2 of them, would you believe, are October babies. The 20th and the 21st.
You're like a teacher timed to precision.
I know. I get to ride once a year on Valentine's Day. The one was born on the 21st and the other was born the 22nd. So there's a year and 364 days between them, which is very strange. But I've lost my fucking train
No, you
of
were
thought.
saying, I confused you there. Danny was... What did I...
Oh, I don't know.
But that's my fault. What did Bobby weigh? 18 minutes?
Bobby was a 7 pound, 7'1", I think he was.
Okay. It's just that you were very fit. Why did that happen? 18 minutes?
Because I was puking every second of the day, I'd say. My whole...
Gia came really quickly as well. She was my first, and when I went in, I said, I'm definitely about to give birth and in pain. They were like, oh, love, it's your first. You're not about to give birth.
Yeah.
And then they're like, she's 8 centimetres dilated, so there was no time. Now, she wasn't 18 minutes. She was probably 2 hours from that point, but it was very fierce.
Which is really quick.
And sore and scary. Second was a devil. She was tiny and kept turning. And they were like, she'll be quick because your first was quick. And she wasn't. She, again, took 2 days. It was a nightmare labour. So you were told the same thing with Danny.
Yeah. He's like, this will be fine. Breezy. And it wasn't. And it was during COVID. So I was up and down the labour ward, walking up and down, sitting on that ball on my own. But he came and it was all
hard
good.
Labour?
It was fine, but I had to take an epidural. I got the epidural, and just as I got it, he came. So the epidural didn't even kick in, and then it kicked in afterwards. And then I was disgusted that I got it because I was like, here he is.
I can do it.
I went this long without, but...
Do you think did you have a newfound, women are amazing, or did you kind of already know that from stories? And I think it gave me I can't believe women do.
I can't, yeah, but I just...
The pain
scares the shite out of
it
you.
is.
It really is. And not even that. It frightens... Actually, I don't want anyone who's...
No, but it's important to be honest.
Does. It's like, what happened? And then you get the fright when the child is handed to you.
But also, it's like, mind this.
I have to look after this child. I can't look after myself.
I remember Jason left to walk the dog. I was like, the dog. And this is the first... Because he was in such a happy zone. I think he wanted to meet someone for a drink, probably.
Yeah.
And to wet the baby. So I was like... And I remember being so scared. I was holding her and I was so happy at what I'd achieved. But I was really scared and lonely. And I was like, I'm not going to, this is horrendous. And then the second was COVID too, so he couldn't be in, and I found that really lonely.
Yeah. I actually liked it because no one could come in on top of me in the hospital.
I stayed in because I wanted the break.
I could sleep and I could just have this
the
time
second
with Danny.
Going home to a second kid.
Yes, he was like, "Don't leave me in here." But I'll tell you about this with Bobby. Was it Bobby? No, it was Danny actually, because there was more time in there. I was sick as a dog and I was in the room waiting, and Rob was eventually allowed in, and he came in, and while I was leaning over the sink, I was puking, and I said, "Rob, will you come over and rub my back?" And he walks over to me with this jumper wrapped over his hands, in front of his belly. And I said, what the hell? I'm like this. And I said, what are you doing with the jumper there? And he says, I'm feeling a bit fat today. I said, you're feeling a bit fat? Well, I was like, do you look at me? Can you see? And he was like, oh, jeez, it's wrong thing to say. And he was obviously starving, and he had a packet of Haribos. And I remember he kept going for the Haribos, and the noise of the packet was doing my head in. And eventually the nurse came in and she said, you're ready, we got to go. And she says, get ready, Rob. And she put me into a wheelchair. I got into a wheelchair, and Rob started packing up stuff with a plastic bag, and everything that was going in, I remember it was ripped at the side, and things were falling out, and I just looked at him. But the nurse obviously looked at him and went, this fucking idiot. And she just went down the corridor, the two of us, and when we got into the lift, Rob's foot came in between the two doors. Well, she ate him. Never stop a lift when there's a woman in labour. And he was like, but I didn't know where you were going. She was like, hurry up. But I just shut up. I was like, could you come home with me and talk
Only
to him?
Only a maternity hospital puts them in place. Only a maternity hospital.
Yeah.
Fair play to her. And Jason ate my toast after Simone. We'd gone through hell to have Simone.
Right? My breakfast.
Hell. Yeah. And then we have her, and it's all the emotions, and everyone's in relief zone. And I'm chatting to Dr. Higgins about something, and he eats he think it was nerves actually, probably just and he ate it. And I just remember going, absolute prick. And he goes, just mental. She's literally been through 2 days of hell with a donut. She went breech, she turned, she went breech. And I remember the first time, similar to you, any noise he was eating, chewing something, and he kept saying, turn it. I'm like, stop touching me.
It's not in my shoulder. No, but it's not there.
It's also not there. It's in my vagina. It's in my bum. It's not there, FYI. But he kept touching me, and I was like, every touch you're giving, and I know you're being kind, but stop touching me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of these women in America who are like, my mum, my sister. Maybe that's preferable.
Yeah. I remember being in the shower then, and I had the hot water on my back, and he said to me, Glenda, my arm is killing me. I was like, you. And I couldn't give out. I think I gave out to him then, but it's afterwards. I'm like, he says, it's funny the things you remember.
Well,
I'm like,
we were new into our marriage-ish with Gia, so there was a lot of like, hey, Jason. There was a lot of love. I have to say with the second, I was like, just go do something, go sleep in the car. He just wrecked my head. Yeah. But I also think I was nervous. And I think that nervousness was just like everything he did pissed me off. Do you want food? I don't want food because I don't want to poo it out on that. Like, no, I don't want food. Yeah. What are you, mental?
No, he's probably just being nice.
I know, but
These are the things we do,
Did you know you're having boys?
Yes.
And?
I knew on both, Listen.
Give a crap.
As long as you've had the baby, and I know people are like, but you'd love a girl, wouldn't you? I'm like, no. Honestly, after going through the first, and especially that last month or so, you just start thinking, well, I did. And I was like, Jesus, what happens? And oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. And then the child comes out and you're like, okay, everything's there. Everything's okay so far. So that's all you want.
And there's something nice about knowing, like I knew as well, they're the same sex, you have the same stuff for them. You know, they might get on because of similarity. You know what you're doing a bit more. Like, I think there's something scary maybe about, I don't know, I've only had girls.
Yeah, I was away recently in Spain and with Rob and the two boys. So they'd get it out of the water. And
you looked like crap in all your photos.
No, which is,
as a mom of two kids at home, I was like,
I'm hardly going to show you the ones that I look like shite.
You didn't put those up.
I take off their shorts, obviously, and then they'd leg it.
Oh, yeah.
And you turn around and there's the couch where they were watching TV or whatever they were doing. And it's like they start from the minute they come out, the hand down. Pulling it from left to right, and then listen, I won't bring Rob into it. He wasn't doing it now.
No, but right.
What
is that? Like my friends with boys are like, and they're kind of masturbating. I'm like, no, they're not. He's 4. No, but it's the kind of masturbation. I'm like, this is a whole new topic for me.
I get shouted, Mommy, my willy's so big. I'm like, good for you,
and
son.
feels so good. And like, it's all really nice, but it's a new level of books I need to read and research because I'm like, this is intense. Yeah. There's willy stuff. There's
boys
they
love
love
talking about poo and willies and
bombs, looking at each other's. Girls are very, very much about, you know, I'm a princess and like I'm trying to get her away from that, and no one's going to save you, and there is no white knight. Like you are your own, you know, and you can marry a girl. Like I'm trying to go there, and it's just it's laughable. I'm trying to teach her all this stuff because she's like, what?
Yeah.
Do they get on well?
The boys, they get on great, and then they kill each other. They're getting on better because Danny obviously is getting a little bit older, and he's not trashing toys where Bobby might be, you know, setting everything up and you know. So they have their moments, but they get on well, and it's great to see.
Are you glad you have them each other? Like they have each other?
Absolutely, yeah. And I look at it kind of going, they've great little friends, so I hope that continues.
Do you want to have loads more kids? Are you allowed to ask that? Are we not
I
allowed
should have started that 10 years ago if I wanted more kids.
But did you want to have loads of kids?
No, I didn't. I always thought that Rob can hold one, I can hold the other.
There's a bit of
family
balance.
that can fit in a car. Think of going away, airplane. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I suddenly have noticed now my Baba's 2, everything's going to get more expensive.
Yeah,
obviously flying.
Well, I just find everything when you're away. It's like, Rob, you're on him, I'm on him.
Yeah,
you know, or
split,
eyes
divide
on
and
him.
conquer.
Yeah.
Nights out are easier. Yeah, because my friends who have 3 or 4, I'm like, wow, there's a bit more work.
Yeah.
So what is the dream is you go on vacation together, you love that. Is there a hope that you all move away, or do you just want to continue as is, just having the crack with your family?
There's no moving away.
You'd never move away.
I was going to say about Rob, he's away a lot, even though I said he's at home a lot.
Yeah.
When he's not at home, he's away. So he's traveling quite a bit. He could be 2 or 3 times. He's a machinery man. So he's diggers and all that stuff.
Okay.
Which little boys love, by the way.
Yes.
So yeah, he's always doing that. So yeah, we love a holiday, obviously, don't we all? Especially when you're living in this beautiful country and it rains a lot.
But that's what I mean. Like you do love Spain.
I love Ireland.
Okay,
I absolutely.
So you wouldn't want to base yourself there.
No, and I love Dublin. I've always loved Dublin.
I often look at Jodie Wood's thing and I'm like, I love that their balance is they go to Spain.
I love Spain, and I see her lovely posters and their beautiful family and her gorgeous husband. They're just gorgeous, all of them. But and I holiday in the exact same spot where she is, and it's gorgeous. But I love it, and then I love to go home.
Why?
I just know.
You're a homebird.
You know, in the colder months, it wouldn't do anything for me to be in Spain. No, I love Dublin.
Really?
I love the crack of
That's
Dublin
so
people, Irish people. I've always loved this place. Yeah. I love that we're all just a few minutes away from each other. You can get anywhere in this country, you know, no bother. I just like people's wit. The weather recently has pretty much killed me, especially with 2 kids. It's like
it's next to impossible to entertain 2 kids.
I can't colour and do Play-Doh for another day, or you know, they can't watch another movie. You know what I mean? It's
are you craft mom? Like, are you baking up a storm? Are you creating? Do you struggle with that part? Are you much more of a maternal loving? I'm here for you, mom. I'm practically here for you, but I'm not going to play with you all day.
It's
mom.
funny.
Like, what are you? I don't know what you are.
Rob is the feeder, right?
Okay.
He cooks
really?
Rob, it's in his family.
Where was Rob clubbing back in the day? I would have liked a Rob.
Well, Rob has a mom who's a cordon bleu chef and a sister, and that's what they do. And so Rob was kind of brought up with it. You can imagine me meeting the mother for the first time. It's like, hello, yes, I'll cook for your son. Not a chance.
Do you cook?
No. So I'd burn water. But so Rob feeds them, and it's funny.
That's amazing.
Someone was in the house a while ago, and Bobby comes in with this Lego thing, and he's like, Mom, are you ready to build this? And it's usually, we're not doing that, but it's usually you think the dad would build it, but I do all that. And look, I told you earlier, I loved art, so I love anything to do with art. And Rob says, you're enjoying that more than they are, Glenda. I'm like, just do that perfectly, paint inside the lines. I'm only joking, but I have my moments.
And who's softer? So he's cooking, he's that kind of guy. Do you feel that I know that they're super young, you're hardly like...
Rob, I'll answer that straight away. Probably me. Rob is super soft, and like I walked in the other day into the room, I was like, Rob, and he said, what? I said, he's bullying you.
That's amazing, Glenda, that you're
Rob
strict. I love that.
And listen, they all have their moments, but I
kids
don't like bold
nowadays,
children.
so this is great.
And I love to have manners on him, but Rob would just... Bobby might let a roar at Rob, and he'd be like, okay, and he'd go and get him something. I'm like, go back in there and tell him not to do that. But Rob is that sort of person, he's soft. He's soft. Yeah, he is, until enough is enough, you know?
Because we do worry about bringing up entitled kids, right?
Yeah.
Your kids, I'm sure there's challenges for you, and like, I'm not saying you're some millionaire, but they have everything that they need, right?
Absolutely.
They're pretty much well looked after. We're privileged in this country.
Yeah.
We're in safe lands. We're not in a war zone. And I worry that we're raising, and I said in the last series of the podcast, assholes, right? Because there's a helicopter parenting, mums aren't pushing out 7 or 8 kids where it's mayhem and they've no money. We choose our families, we choose our partner.
Yeah.
We can make a bit of money for ourselves. There's a lot more independence.
Absolutely.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And so with that comes that like we can go on these holidays to Marbella for 3 weeks, or we can go and do Lapland. And there's a lot, kids get a lot. And
absolutely.
do you struggle with that? Because I'm struggling with that. Because my parents were very strict.
My parents weren't strict, but like I remember McDonald's was when it was someone's birthday.
Your birthday, yeah.
Yeah,
Kid
like
in school, you went to Wally Wabbits,
there was
you got McDonald's.
What's Wally Wabbits?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, you're better upbringing than me.
Where did you grow up?
Where's Wally Wabbits in
Because you probably had one, yeah. So in Southside, it was Wally Wabbits in Still, Oregon. I'm sure you had one.
I've never even heard of that.
So funny, yes. In the 90s, it was, when did I was born in 83. So Wally Wabbits was
my God,
like
I was born before
play.
you. I was born in 81.
Wow, whatever.
There we go.
It was a soft play, like, what was it the equivalent of? Like not a jump zone.
Okay, so I cannot remember.
Funky Monkeys or something. And it was called Wally Wabbits, but it had a restaurant, it had a Quasar, it had a bowling.
That was very
When
advanced.
I say it was insane, and if your mates got to go there, my mum was just like, you need to do it, they've done it. I'm like, I want to do my birthday. I never got to do a birthday there. And then I think at like 8 I got to do a birthday there, but it was phenomenal. It's closed. I think it's closed.
Well, I can't remember ever going to a soft play
Wabbits.
area when I was a kid.
Oh, sorry, what did you do?
Like, and I can't remember ever being brought to a playground. I
just
don't.
said your parents were sound, so what
They
did you
are,
do?
but you were let out. It was like, go on out and play, and you did, and you were out playing with your friend next door, or whenever, or your friend. And my friend next door came in with her mom, and we played in the house. Like,
nowadays
people used to
like
visit each other and have coffees.
restaurants.
Yeah, they'd have tea and coffee in the house. Yeah. It wasn't meeting, like you wouldn't ever get a coffee.
Did you worry
anywhere else.
about it? Are you aware?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Rob, would love to be here for this conversation. But yeah, you do, because as you're saying, there was no Smiths, there was none of this. And you tend to kind of go, if you get through this, we'll go to Smiths, or, this kind of, and then it's like, shit, forget it. Why did I say that? But look, and I do, and you can see it during the summer. You can see it at Christmas time in the kids, how much and it's like, I'm dying for them to get back to school, because the teachers do put manners on them.
So are we doing
as
a
you
poor
said,
job?
they have
Are we
everything. They do have everything, but I feel like I'm a big
if
kid
you tie your
myself.
shoelace, you can have an ice cream on Saturday.
Yeah.
My mum would have just been like, tie your shoelace.
Yeah, I know.
Go to school.
I know.
The saga in the morning to get out to school, and I'm like, what are we doing wrong?
I brought Bobby. I finished school with him one of the days, and it was a nice day. And I said, come on, we go and get an ice cream. And we walked up to get the ice cream. And while I was getting it, a friend in his class walked by. And the mother said, you don't get an ice cream till Friday. And I just went, oh God, I'm the dope. Yeah. I'm the dope. Yeah. And I was like, wow. And it just made me think. And there he is going, can I have sprinkles on that? And I'm like, oh God, yeah. Now I couldn't go, actually, we're not doing this today. We'll do it on Friday. But it was like, I should be doing that.
But we're meant to make the rules. And there's something has happened to us where I see it myself. I'm like putting treats in on a Wednesday. I'm like feeding her with love. And Jason's a bit like, well, do you want her to be your bestie? Like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, and he was raised in South Africa in a hugely strict, it's culturally very different. He went to a very strict boarding school.
Your kids are gorgeous with the two of you.
They're grand. Like, they're not great, but he's very strict upbringing, and I see how he speaks to me about what I do for them and what I give them, and how he's like, what do you want to raise? Is it just kids who are not resilient, who just sit around the world or make it better? And I'm like, oh shit.
But it's funny, my second little guy, Danny, wouldn't look for a thing off you. He walks around,
Maybe it's personality.
If you bring him to Smith's, he walks around and picks out something for Bobby. Like, the child would go out and play with the grass.
Is that second child?
I don't know. Like,
I hardly
bring Bobby out and buy him something and not buy Danny. So he would, but he's just a different kid.
Nature is interesting.
He's
that conversation.
Different kid, yeah.
Do you worry about social media?
Oh, yeah, I knew you'd ask me that question when I was driving in here. I was like, we'll go down that route.
But you have to be honest.
I do, and I'm honest, and yeah, I wouldn't get as much stick as I used to get when I was on TV. You'd get stuff when you're on Yeah, you would get
You
shot.
were getting trolled?
Oh, no, I'm not saying trolled.
Yeah.
You'd get. But listen, I have to take the good with the bad, because you'd get a good
You're a very
compliment.
popular person in this country. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
but
thought
you
you'd-
might get something like, I didn't like your you don't have knees for a skirt like that, or you don't have, you'd get shite like that. Or you might even get things like,
Oh, Jesus.
what colour is your nail polish on your toes? It's like, seriously, how did you see that? What? Do you remember the setup on Expose? Like, you'd get freaky things, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. But you have to. Like, I remember saying that to the girls. Each day, one of us would get some sort of a knocking, and you'd say, here, you can't. Yesterday, you look gorgeous, and you loved all those comments. So you can't be when someone said, I don't like that dress, that's not your shape. Just leave it. Move on.
Do you and Rob have the conversation about putting them on your social? Does it even matter? Do you care? Who cares?
Rob's not a huge social media. He is big on social media when it comes to machinery and selling and all that. But no, he doesn't get involved. And I suppose I've always been in the spotlight,
That's the
really.
thing.
So
you
it's
were
like,
as a kid, so to you it's not a drama.
no, like as I said, I was modelling. I was on the telly at 3 years of age, so it's not.
There's kids in France suing their parents now. You heard about this?
Listen, it's a different world these days that we live in. So, look, I put them up on my social media.
I don't think you puke
Kill
them
me
up
for
on
that,
your social media, though.
There might be.
There's bits.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Do you think there'll be a stage you stop, like, or do you think it's
well,
like,
I'm
let's
sure
just
when
do
they
it
don't want
naturally?
to do it, you know.
They're super cute.
And they're always around me
minging, you
now.
wouldn't
Like,
put-
when they get older, they're gone with their friends, or they're doing
They
their
won't
own
be,
thing.
exactly,
It's
yeah.
not
They're
like
not
they'd
gonna
be
be
like,
15.
Mom, the minute I go out the door, when they're going to school, let's do a selfie. Okay, Mom. Hopefully they're like, get lost, Mom,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
What's the best thing about parenting?
What's the best thing? I suppose at the moment, listening to the little chat, like Danny putting the things together, myself and Rob just look at each other all the time and just laugh. He's like a little cutie, or like Bobby, and my dog was attacked there 2 weeks ago, the poor little thing. And she has pins all in her leg. They shattered her bone in her leg. Anyway, and the poor dog is in a depression at the moment. And I got Bobby in the car the other day, and he says, Mommy, when I think of those dogs, little fuckers. And I just went, oh, Jesus, and myself and Rob. And I just had to turn around.
Oh my
He was
God,
in the back.
so good.
But it was obviously I had said those little fuckers of dogs. And he then said it. So I was like, oh, shit, watch what we're saying.
Yeah, but you also didn't react. It's brilliant.
Yeah, but it was
like, I wanted to-
something like that. It was funny. You know, he wasn't telling me to F off, but yeah, it was something.
Innocent.
But like Danny, there's spits coming out of his mouth, the tongue is coming out, the eyes are lit up, the hands, and if you
Where does he
agree
get
with
that
him,
energy and personality? That's
if you
brilliant.
agree with them on something or say, really, Danny's like, yeah, so that you're getting great little bit of entertainment out of him, and he could screen the house down as well, so you get both.
Do you find it? I find it funny that you haven't made carbon cutouts. I often go, why is Simone not like me, like I am, and why does Gia do? And Jason's like, they're not us. They're genuinely not us.
Yeah,
that's weird when you're kids.
The people say Bobby's the spit of Rob, the absolute spit. And then it's like, where did we get Danny from with the blue eyes and the pale skin? But I don't know.
What's the hardest thing?
What's the hardest thing? Sleep, I find. I'm a big sleeper. I love my sleep. Oh, I could sleep standing up. I'm one of those. Like if I got to a job early, which didn't happen that much, I'd nearly have a kip in the car. I'm like one of those to kind of, because I'm always like this, you know? Yeah, but what is the hardest?
Do you fight a lot? Do you and Rob fight more now that you've kids?
I suppose we did when the kids were small at the very start, and not so much with Bobby. It's when you the second one.
100% weak,
and you're still dealing with a child like that has just turned 2. The next day he turned 2 after Brittany was born.
It's very hard.
That was tough.
Everything they do is annoying.
And I remember him not wanting me. He just wanted his dad, because I brought this new child in, and that was like, jeepers, you know.
There's a lot of emotional crap involved with it's a bit of a warfare.
So yeah, it just depends what day you ask me what the hardest thing. Some days would be, you know, you never know, throwing something on the floor that you've told him 10 times not to do. But
you're killing it though, because you've kind of morphed. You're still like a hot ride of a woman. We're not allowed to talk about.
Listen, I left the house today.
We're not allowed to objectify or talk about people's looks, but you still are, right? This great. But I kind of like that your content is always like the salt place that you go to is the place. I had to find that. I was like, where that? There's one in Stepaside near me.
Oh, I've been to that one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you put up informative stuff, you put up fun stuff, you put up nice like family. But there's this there's a change in you, an evolution, and that'll probably bring you to where you're next going to go in your broadcasting career. So it's interesting to watch that. I was laughing. I just sent it to my friend yesterday. But you still look the same, Glenda. Thanks. Jesus, it's amazing what makeup can do. I asked, I sent this to my mate. It came up. What I thought I was going to wear on the school run, and you see this model with the looking amazing, every accessory hanging off her, and then it's like what I look like, and getting out of bed with the pajamas, the socks pulled up to the hair and in a big bun on the top of the head. It's like, oh my God, that's me. You know, fact this going out looking like what was that program that all the mothers, Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon, Separate
and they all
Wives? No. Oh, I loved that. The one where they kill the guy.
Yes. Remember, they all used to meet at the school, and you'd be like, that was such a good show. Coat, look at her shoes, look at her bag. They all look fabulous. And they look like they had a blow dry. I certainly don't look like that in the morning. What do you want if you were gone tomorrow for your boys to remember you? That's your final question. Oh my God. What is your legacy? What do you want them to go, she was this? Well, they're very young to remember me, but I suppose just to be a sound mother. Like, I get on pretty well with my folks. And just for someone that they can come to, and that's what I mean by sound. Like, I was never afraid to go to my folks and tell them the truth about anything. Now, I'm sure the 13, 14, those kind of years when you were afraid to do anything, I'd be hiding things. But no, and I have friends, and I can see them. They kind of nearly button their shirt up when their parents come in. Do you know that kind of way? It's like, I don't want that. Stand up straight. I've never. My mom and dad laugh sometimes when they're around my mates, because they're like, she never changes when she's around us. She's still effing and blinding, and you know, I'd never. I hope my kids, like, I'm very new at this, so I don't know just yet what I hope, but I hope they'd trust me and know that they could tell me anything. You know, I'd hate them to be hiding stuff, especially in this mad world that we live in now. You know. Well, listen, Bobby and Danny are two lucky feckers. We can't say that word, can we? We've already said a few. They're so lucky to have you, and you both seem like you've got a lovely yin-yang thing going on, and to see you become I'd love to cut to the kitchen now. No, my house in an hour. It's like, Jesus, she didn't make it sound like that. Full of shit. But it's true, and they're so lucky, and what a road you got ahead of you. And I think, like, we're all entering that in the trenches bit, and then we're coming out of that and we're going into a new bit, then the teens. I think it's kind of exciting. I'm loving the movement. I don't mind. Yeah. So well done, and thank you so much for coming on, opening your heart. It's not easy to talk about stuff that's about the house and not about career. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. You're killing it. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Little Birdie Told Me. And if you did, it would mean a lot to me if you could like, subscribe, and share this episode.